The market finally breaks support, giving us what appears to be the start of a long-awaited pullback. Now the question is, which pullback do we get? Find out next on Invest with Jacob. Okay, guys, so after a big fight at 45.60 on the futures chart, the bears were able to push down through the support zone, indicating that a local top is likely in place, and we've begun our pullback structure. Now the question is, which pullback do we get? Is it the ABC corrective pullback that gives us a wave 5 up towards 46.30? Or is it the C wave pullback that takes us down towards 4,300, which would finally complete the 4 wave and start our wave 5 from there? Now, I'll get into that in just one second. But first, if you're new here, welcome to the show, guys. My name is Jacob Gabbard, and this is Invest with Jacob, where we use Elliott Wave Theory to break down the S&P 500. I highly encourage you to hit that subscribe button down below so that you can get our daily S&P updates, our trade setups, and our buy alerts. All right, guys, so with the push down through the support zone, we are now likely in our corrective structure, and where we go from here will give us an idea of which pullback we get. To see that a little more clearly, let's jump into the chart and take a look. Okay, guys, so here we are on the 5-minute futures chart, and as you can see, I've added a couple different counts as well as this gray box to the chart. So the gray box, okay, that is the support zone that I highlighted yesterday, that 1.236 at 45.60 down to the 1.0 at 45.53.50. And this was our support level that they needed to hold if they were going to try to push this to 4,600 before the pullback. They obviously did not hold it. They broke through that support level, and now we have started our pullback structure. Now this is resistance in what we call the market pivot. And this gives us an idea of what type of pullback we're in, and I'll explain how it works in just a second. So let's look at the 2 counts that we're following right now. So as we come off the top, guys, we're still letting this pullback develop. We don't have a complete structure yet, so we need to find out what kind of structure it's building and go from there. So off of the top, we did have a nice clean 5 waves down for a wave 1, but then we got some overlap here, okay, and it poked down and then went up in wave 2 here. Now this can happen, although it's not the cleanest looking C wave. Remember, we can have B waves that go higher in expanded flats, and so you can have a corrective wave that does go lower than the 1 wave, but it's really not ideal. So at this time, my primary thought is that we are in the ABC type correction, and we should hold one of the fibs down here towards the 4,500 to 4,570 range, and then push up for this wave 5 to 46.30 from there. However, the structure is still technically able to be a C wave, so we need to let it play out a little bit more before we understand what we're looking at. So one of the keys is we got 1 down here, okay, and then 2 up. So remember wave 3, okay, and this is wave 3 of wave 1, guys. This is the first wave of the C wave that we're potentially counting out here. All right, so this would be wave 1 down after we complete down here. Then you would get a bounce in 2 from there. Okay, so remember that we're still in wave 1 of C overall, but these are the subwaves of that wave. So subwave 3 of wave 1 needs to have its 5 waves counted out. So we have a 1 down, a 2 up, a 3 down, okay, and then 4 needs to hold inside of the pivot or around the bottom of the pivot, which it's done so far, okay, and then you would want wave 5 down towards this 45.20 area, and that would complete wave 3 of 1. Then you would want to bounce here up to about 45.50 or so in wave 4, and then wave 5 down to the 45.15, 45.10 area, and this would complete wave 1 of wave C. Remember, all of our waves break down into 5 subwaves when we're counting impulsive movements. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down in 1. Then we would expect a wave 2 bounce up towards about 45.50, up towards where this wave 4 was. And then from there, if we get that set up, we would look to short. Now remember, because of all this overlap up here, I am leaning towards the ABC correction. So right now I'm actually looking to find an entry for a long position as opposed to a short position. But if this fills out and gives me the 5 waves down that we're looking for, I will change my position and look to short this wave 2 bounce. So this is why we let structures fill out a little bit and don't rush into shorting and don't rush into buying longs, because we want to know what kind of structure we're looking at and what kind of targets we have. Okay, so for the other count, for the corrective count, okay, you have your A wave down here, your B up, and then you have your ABC correction for wave A. Remember, those waves break down into subwaves. So wave A breaks down into an A, B, C, and this would complete wave A down here. Okay, and this did stop right about the 1.0 extension off of the top. So this distance here from the top of wave 3 to the bottom right here where we have that A labeled is about the same as the distance between the top right here to the bottom here. And corrections, remember, A equals C most of the time. So this is lining up very much like a corrective movement, but we are not 100% sure on that until we see more of the structure. I would like this A wave to actually go a little bit deeper because we want the overall correction to be deeper, but we don't always get what we want in the market. So if this is an A, B, C down, this would be the A wave. If they push back up through the pivot, okay, and this is where the pivot helps us identify what kind of correction we're in. So when they push back up through this pivot, that is the B wave, and this A wave is done, and the C wave is also done. So the potential for the 5 down goes away, as well as the A wave is complete once they push back up through this pivot in the B wave bounce. All right, so that's how the pivot helps us identify what kind of correction we're in. As long as they can keep it below this pivot, or below the top of this pivot, I should say, and not push up through it, the 5-wave structure is still a valid option. But as soon as they push it up and through this pivot, okay, then it turns into the B wave up of an ABC correction, and we are looking at a buying opportunity when that completes. Okay, so what we're really watching today is how they handle the market from where it is right now. Right now we're sitting at 45.51 at about almost 9 o'clock here in the West. So if they can keep this lower than the pivot and push it down, it doesn't mean we're in the C wave yet, but the C wave remains an option, okay? If they push it down and give us 4 and 5, that's when we know we're in the C wave because we have 5 down. Then we would expect a wave 2 bounce, and then we would look to short. If they're able to push this back up through the pivot in a B wave bounce, okay, not only is the C wave option off the table, the A wave is complete, and we are in B, and we will look for the C wave down from there, probably targeting around 4,500 to 44.70. So guys, we've been patient. We've been waiting for this pullback, and finally we've got it. And now we're getting ready for our buying opportunity. Now that buying opportunity could be puts if we get the C wave set up for the big move down, or more likely, the primary path here looks like it's going to be an ABC. Okay, and if we get the ABC correction, we're going to look to buy calls, and we're going to look to buy 2 different variations of calls. The first one is going to be targeting like January, February, late January probably. Depending on price, we'll kind of set that up, and you can get in my room and get that exact buy alert. I'll tell you how to do that in just a minute. But we'll be targeting longer longs to hit that 51.50 area that we are looking for on the way up. And we would also be buying some shorter length calls that are about maybe 3 to 4 weeks out, targeting this wave 5 up to 46.30. So we have a couple great buying opportunities coming up, whether it be the long opportunity or the short. Okay, guys, so that is what we were watching. If you like what I put out in these videos and you want real-time market updates from me, including my buy and sell alerts and when we buy these calls, you need to get in my Facebook group. There's a link down in the description, okay? Go ahead and click that link, and it will take you over to Facebook. Once you're in Facebook, okay, you do need to get approved to get into my Facebook group, and the only thing I ask is that you subscribe to my YouTube channel. So hit that subscribe button down below. Come on over to YouTube. I'll get you into the Facebook page. Once you're in, hit this featured button right here in the middle, and then scroll down, okay? You'll see our documented trades. I update those usually about once a week, and you can see what our trading has been like since the channel started. You scroll down just a little bit further, and you will see a link to my Slack channel. Now, Slack is just a free chat channel. I am on there all day during real-time market hours, giving real-time updates as well as our buy and sell alerts with all of our strike prices, our targets, our stops, expirations, everything you would want in a trade. And it is a great group of traders from the very beginner to the very expert. It is a great place to improve or learn trading. So come on over, guys, and let's make some money together. Okay, guys, key takeaways for today. We are watching to see how they play from here at the 45.51 level. If they push it up through the pivot, back up through over 45.60, then it's very likely the B wave has started and the C wave is dead, and we are looking at an ABC type correction. If they hold it under the pivot and continue to push it lower, the C wave remains an option, but we will have to see how the structure fills out from there because we would still need a 4 up and a 5 down. All right, guys, that is the market update for today. I will talk to you tomorrow.